of those situations where you find yourself asking the question, how the hell did I get myself in this situation? This is a story about one time when I found myself in one of those situations. You see, several years ago, I decided, being a lawyer, it's a little boring sometimes. I'm going to expand my horizon, try something different, and I decided I'm going to go as diametrically opposed to being a lawyer as I possibly can. And I found myself ready to go on stage to perform as a burlesque dancer. It all started when I had this idea that I'm going to do something different from being a lawyer. I'm going to take off my lawyer personality and I'm going to try something else. Now, I didn't go directly to burlesque dancing. I actually decided I'm going to try belly dancing first because there's no way that could go wrong. One of my very first performances was also one of my most memorable, and it made a huge difference in my career. And this performance involved 5 dancers. I'm one of those 5 dancers, and I'm kind of lucky because I'm the dancer in the middle of class. The reason why it's nice to be the middle dancer of 5 dancers is because it's possible that you're supposed to be doing something different than all your fellow dancers. So if you mess up, it might not be so obvious you're doing a solo or you're a feature dancer. So with this plan in mind, I get ready to go on stage with my 5 fellow dancers, and the first problem is our teacher Kimberly, who is a wonderful teacher, maybe just a tiny bit too confident in us on this particular occasion. And our first dancer is having a little stage fright right before it's time to go on stage. And as it turns out, we sort of have to give her a little push, and her entrance looks like this. I'm feeling less pressured now because I couldn't possibly do anything that's going to look as ridiculous as that. But apparently I had underestimated myself. So we're going along in performance, and we're at this really powerful moment. And we're going towards the audience, and we're doing our snake arms, when suddenly I realized I have no idea what I'm supposed to be doing. And as I'm thinking in my mind, this is really not a convenient place for this to happen because now I look like one of the monkeys that's supposed to be in a barrel. I'm frozen, so I decide, let's see how good my solo's going, what's everyone else doing? And I peek this way, oh crap. And I peek that way, oh crap. And I discover there are 5 monkeys in this room because we've all frozen at the same time, simultaneously on stage. And as if things couldn't get any worse, what's supposed to happen when I suddenly realize where we're supposed to be in the choreography? We're supposed to be grapevining, which means some of us are supposed to be going this way, and some of us are supposed to be going this way. What would be the only thing worse than everyone simultaneously freezing on stage? I'll tell you, that would be if we start grapevining and running into each other. Well, after we all froze on stage, eventually we reach a point in the choreography where everyone knows what's supposed to happen next, and so all 5 of us suddenly start dancing again, and we manage to successfully make it through the rest of the performance. I go backstage, I come around, I return to the table where my friend is sitting, and I ask her, well, the people were sitting on stage. That was great. That's interesting feedback under the circumstances. It seemed like an unmitigated disaster to me. So after I have an opportunity, I reach over to my friend and I say, excuse me, but was it obvious we all stopped? He says, yeah, we all got that. Okay. So I go to the teacher afterwards and I'm like, Kimberly, I'm really sorry. We really just didn't do the right thing. She says, at least you didn't cry and run off stage. Damn! I didn't think of that. That's apparently the appropriate response under the circumstances. So now that I've lived through this experience, I've decided I'm gonna kick it up a notch. I'm gonna try burlesque dancing because there's no way that could go wrong either, right? when you're burlesque dancing, as it turns out, there's a variety of costumes, and I was a little concerned about this, so I talked to the teacher that I was getting ready to take to the class for the dance, and I wanted to make sure I understood exactly what the costume was going to consist of. So she said, the skirt comes all the way down to here. That's awesome. That's an extraordinary amount of fabric under the circumstances, and I'm really happy about that until I received this. Now, you may be thinking, this just looks like a scrap of fabric, which is also what I suspected when I first met it. But as it turns out, this is in fact the skirt. It is long, as the teacher promised. How could that go wrong? Well, as it turns out, you go like this. You put this together, and this is the skirt. So we have a rather disturbing split happening in the front. And I was so distracted by the disturbing split that I didn't notice the other piece of disturbing information about the skirt, which you may be able to tell right here. Sadly, I didn't notice this until we're all in line to go on stage. I'm standing behind my partner, and I noticed that she has a freckle on her right butt cheek. So here I am. Because my fight or flight response has definitely kicked in, and it seems like the most important thing for me to know right now is whether I in fact have a freckle on my right butt cheek. I still don't know the answer to that question. I did survive that particular performance. I learned a very important skill about being a lawyer, which was you must ask additional questions besides just the length of the skirt. And so I will tell you now, I'm a lawyer. I have a boa. How do you like me now?